In total, I've traveled to 56 countries over a period of about 15 years. And there's just so many experiences and stories that I could tell you today, but obviously we'll just start with a few. So obviously my first job that I ever had was working aboard luxury cruise liners. On an Italian cruise line actually. Started off in the Mediterranean, then we in the Mediterranean for the European summer, and then we went up to Scandinavia. Then we crossed the transatlantic and went down from Canada, New England, down to New York and Miami, and then we stayed in the Caribbean for about 3 to 6 months. During that time, obviously, I was exposed to lots of different cultures there at such a young age of 18. And I remember the first time I had my first Italian pizza and I asked for barbecue sauce, and obviously they don't have barbecue sauce on the Italian pizzas. Then I asked for a garlic bread, and garlic bread is completely different to the way that we would have garlic bread in Australia. Yeah, learning the different languages from hola to como estás to ciao, and just all the different, languages that are so similar, but also the cultures are really, really different. So I did that for 9 months, working on board the Spa. I earned quite a bit of money as well. It gave me enough money to save up for my first car. And then I returned home and started to work a little bit more just so I could save enough money to go on to my next journey. Then my next journey, I went to Italy again. I think in total I've been to Europe 15 times. I visited the whole of Italy and through the Amalfi Coast and down to Cinque Terre and Tuscany, and lived in Livorno, which is in Tuscany, just about 10 minutes outside of Pisa, and learnt to cook really good Italian foods and really embrace the culture that was there. And I had a little foster family that I stayed with when I was there, and that was really amazing. The next time I travelled was I went and lived in Mexico for 3.5 months in the Yucatan Peninsula. So we stayed in a tree house there, and I worked for an American lady in Mexico. We traveled through Central America, through Belize and Guatemala with backpacks, and it was a really, really amazing experience. In Mexico, I also volunteered at the local dog shelter, and we looked after all the stray dogs and educated the locals on the importance of spraying and neutering their animals. Then after obviously being in Mexico, I went back to Australia and finished my university degree, which was in marketing. And I did that marketing degree obviously to help me be able to, an international business degree, so that I could obviously travel the world by using obviously my degree. Probably a few of my favourite moments would be hiking the Franz Josef Glacier in the South Island of New Zealand. I've also slept under the stars in Morocco in the Sahara Desert. I've also cycled through Austria and Switzerland. I've gone swimming in the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, and that was a really amazing experience because at the time when I was in Iceland, I actually had no idea whereabouts in the world it was, and then when I actually looked at a map, I realised actually it's pretty far away from most things. Swimming with whale sharks in the Caribbean, and staying in a traditional Fijian village in Sigatoka, staying in Israel and visiting Jerusalem with a boy that I met from university who was Israeli, and staying with their family and experiencing the culture of the Jewish people. It was really lovely as well. I think that traveling is really important for me as an individual, as I feel like any situation that I'm put into now, I'm able to manage that situation, and being experienced with dealing with different cultures has really allowed me to relate and be personable with people in my workplace and family and friends. it's really opened up my eyes to see that, you know, you don't have to work the 9-to-5 job and, you know, live in the same place your whole life. That, you know, there are other people that are out there that are traveling the world and taking their children, you know, and working around the world as well as a normal life too. I definitely feel I'm a better person for traveling, as I know who I am and I don't have to be anyone that I'm supposed to be or that society thinks that I should be. And I think the most exciting thing for me is the fact that I don't know where I'm going, but at the same time, I know that I'm going places. And it's really exciting.